on, guys? It is CYJ Railfan here. I went up north this past weekend. I went with a couple friends. Tyler Dixon, you may know him on YouTube as Trainmaster 1072. And another friend, William Sproule. Those guys are real big historian buffs. Tyler is a New York Central, Pennsylvania, PCC and STL Big Four, P&E. He's that big kind of guy. He's that big historian kind of guy. William is mostly into the history of the Pennsylvania. He loves anything you can talk about Pennsylvania. If you can find something in Pennsylvania, just give it to him. He will love it. Now, I was up north with them this past weekend, first day of October, and it was a pretty good day. Morning started off pretty well with some interesting contests all day. Got a couple special units, and took a little look at the Wheeling Lake Erie in Heartland and caught something special in Bellevue. So come along and see what we got. Saturday morning found me first in Marion, Ohio. We are at Kenton Street at milepost 101 on the CSX Indy line. Looking east, we can see the diamonds to the CSX Columbus sub and the Norfolk Southern Sandusky district. Looking west, we can see into the Marion, Ohio yard, where CSX has some locomotives sitting waiting to do local jobs. We see a CSX GP40-2 and an ES4040C sitting quietly next to the yard office, while down there is the local for L33301. L333 soon comes up to Kenton Avenue and will round the corner around the CNO connection to head south to Columbus. A GP38-2, another GP38-2, an SD40-3, which I've happily nicknamed them SpongeBobs, and an ES44ACH. The 3214 will be taking the three locomotives south to Columbus, back to the Parsons Yard. Meanwhile, an X331 comes up on track 1 and will cross over onto track 2 with a very interesting consist that completely caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting this. Almost would have been catch of the day if it not for what we would see later. Two C40-8Ws, two SD70 Max, two ET44AHs, and a UPC45AH. Heading west on the Mount Victory sub, this was a very interesting train the other day. Next, we head up to Bucyrus, Ohio, and the old Pennsylvania Railroad station. The Norfolk and Western caboose that was sitting on the other side of the tracks has recently been removed over there and moved in front of the depot. Next is NS-272 as he heads south across the diamond at Attica Junction on the Sandusky district. This is milepost 83.1 on the NS Sandusky line, and is one of my favorite go-to spots when rail fanning up in the north. The CSX Willard sub crosses here on a west to east route, with Willard actually being visible about 3 to 4 miles to the east. Not even 10 minutes after 272 follows 28N, a daily Chicago, Illinois to Charlotte, North Carolina, containers and trailers. This is a hot train on the Sandusky district. So we actually move into Bellevue, where me and Tyler actually happened to catch a grain train coming off the Sandusky line and heading west onto the NS Fostoria district. These empty grain cars are presumably going to Fostoria, or they could be going to somewhere in Indiana. In a moment, he'll pass a tied down 276, just about 100 feet to the west of us, awaiting a new crew. Later in the day, me and Tyler make it to Sandusky and happen to come across a local with an NS AC-44 C6M rebuild leading coal hoppers out of the docks on the north side of Sandusky. This sort of thing happens just about every single day, with coal trains coming in and the locals taking them to the docks. Next up is NS 28M, heading eastbound past the old Sandusky yard on the east side of town.
Triple prime lead. Did you clear back about 15 to start? Pick me up. Double check them.
M is a daily intermodal and containers with some trailers on the NS Chicago line, which runs from Cleveland to Chicago, Illinois. For a while now, NS has been trying this new resymboling of their trains, classifying all the trailer trains to have designated letters at the end to designate which terminal they originate and terminate in. Same with the standard intermodals. Shortly after 28M, 28B, a Chicago to Buffalo train, comes flying east with a BNSF SD70 Ace leader. after the passing of 28B NS-10N autoracks from Sterling Heights, Michigan to Conway, Pennsylvania, next heads east. He's usually short, and today is no exception. That right there is Tyler Dixon, Trainmaster 1072 on YouTube. I'll talk about him more in a little bit, and I'll put his YouTube channel down in the description below. Next, we look at the old NYC and Conrail yard at milepost 240 on the Chicago line, now known for storing cars and the occasional maintenance of way equipment. In the yard on this day was NS 3310, an SD 40-2 with an Admiral cab rebuild, which, by doing a little research, is an ex-Southern Railway. A green signal at milepost 240 down there warns us of the approaching eastbound 22X, Chicago, Illinois to Croxton, New Jersey, and on just this day, it happened to have the NS 8098 Conrail Heritage Unit leading. So we stood at the yard office for that. Next train up behind 22X was another intermodal, with an AC44C6M and a -944CW leading the way. Just about to leave when 67X popped up on the radio. Empty ethanol out of Pennsylvania going back to Chicago with an NS SD70 ACU leader and some Canadian Pacific GEs. And that right there is another good friend of ours, William Sproule. He is a very passionate Pennsylvania Railroad historian and loves everything about the Pennsylvania Railway. So if you ever have any information or questions, just go talk to him. I'll put a link to his YouTube in the description too. Next, me and Tyler drove over to the Heartland Terminal on the Wheeling Lake Erie. In the yard are some new and old tracks being laid in or taken out, and some Wheeling Lake Erie SD40s. Over next to the yard office is Wheeling Lake Erie 7024. It has an Operation Lifesaver sticker on the side of the locomotive, but you can't really see it well from here. Shortly after arriving into Bellevue, we stumbled upon a Wheeling Lake Erie train heading into NS's Mormon Yard in Bellevue. Leading the way is Wheeling Lake Erie 5412, still in the Rio Grande speed lettering and still in its colors, with another ex-Rio Grande SD40-2 tunnel motor and a Wheeling Lake Erie SD40-2 third. They commonly run these transfer trains every day here in the Bellevue and come back with either cars or light engines. Next, we swung over to Kilbourne Street, down a road from the Rad River and Nickel Plate Railroad Museum, just in time for the arrival of 16G coming off the Toledo district. 16G doesn't normally work Bellevue, but I guess he did as needed today. Leading it was BNSF 7520 and ES 44C4. Pretty good contest too, with two NS AC 44C6Ms and an NS-9 in trail.
Talking to Ranger. Roger, north, Mark, Mass, talking to Ranger.
If you're wondering about what's going on the radio, a yard job actually ran into 10Q as it was about to depart from Bellevue, still in the yard. We would have ran over there if we had more time, but we just didn't get over there for some reason. Also, note in the train how there are pipe loads and a car section full of John Deere tractors. Nice catch on this guy too. After 16G cleared up, we ran down another crossing on the Toledo district and saw the power for NS42N coming back to the east end after putting an EOT on the west end of the train, which they had gotten out of Bellevue Yard. It was a nice catch today, as it was the first BNSF-9 we had seen all day. Plus, Bellevue is well known for having weird stuff every now and then, so you never know what you're going to expect. Leading the way today is BNSF 4167, a -9 44CW. Note the conductor on the back end of him as he calls out the car count to the crossing. The second locomotive is BNSF 3776, a rebuilt ET44C4, which I have nicknamed Gevos on steroids because, well, they look kind of rebuilt and buff. The train would go around the Y in Bellevue near the Mad River Station and Depot and come back west to hook onto the train before going south. On the way back home, I got stopped by another surprise. CSX train B742, ethanol empties returning to Chicago, Illinois, on the CSX Willard sub at Attica Junction. Then there was NS Colt train. I didn't get the symbol on this guy, but he was pretty loaded. I picked this spot just south of the diamond just because I liked how the train leans on the inside. After this Saturday, I would have ended the video off here with this Colt train, but 3 more catches I got later in the week forced me to add them onto this video because, well, they were well worth it. One of the extra catches that I said about was NS 170 heading east through Springfield, with a surprise in the second position. The surprise was Union Pacific 1983 in the Western Pacific Heritage Paint Scheme. We don't normally get those down here on the Dayton District, so there was no way I was going to pass up an opportunity like this. The Pacific Railway was formed in 1903 to break the near-monopoly Southern Pacific Railroad service into Northern California as a direct competitor. Their Feather River route directly competed with SP's portion of the overland route from Salt Lake City into Oakland, California for nearly just about 80 long years. A couple days later saw the CSX OCS train heading south on the CSX Scotsman Secondary at Kyle, with CSX's new executive on board. About an hour later, on that same day, saw NS 170 heading eastbound through London, Ohio, with the Kansas City Southern GEVO in the second position. .170 is daily manifest traffic from Chattanooga, Tennessee, with work stops in Danville, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Ohio, Sharonville, Ohio, Watkins Yard in Columbus, Mansfield, Ohio, and sometimes Canton, Ohio, en route to its destination in Conway, Pennsylvania. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I was originally going to plan it for that Saturday alone, the first weekend of October, but as you can see, some of those catches came up and I decided to make it a week-long video. Anyway, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done that yet. Subscribe to Tyler's channel if you haven't done that yet. I'll put a link to that in the description. Also, the same thing with Rex Woods, because he ended up joining us there too. And the same thing from William Sproule. Shout out to those guys as well. I am currently working on a New York Central video. Well, the New York Central route all the way from Sharonville through Springfield, London, Lily Chapel, and to Miami Crossing over in Columbus. So until then, I'm CYJ Railfan, and thank you guys for watching.